Okay, so my name is Meg. I am paralegal in Red Bank, New Jersey. I'm 25 years old and I graduated school about 2 years ago now, which is crazy. So now I'm just working. Okay, so this is embarrassing. I actually don't know what season Eliza Orland's played, but that one's my favorite, mostly because, and this ties into the player question, mostly because she's on it. I love her. That was the first season of Survivor I remember like watching. I just think she's a really strong player, and she doesn't apologize for being a strong player, and that was really cool, especially to see that early on in my life. Everyone's like, oh, she's a bitch. It wasn't like that for her. Everyone respected her, and that's cool.
Yeah.
I did do pretty well. I played Survivor in season 3, Last Bow Standing. That is the first and only LRG I played. Like you said, I did pretty well, but what I got out of it, I would say, besides that, is first of all, a whole new community. I really enjoy hanging out with everyone from Survivor, and still, I actually wouldn't be here if I hadn't have done that, because I met you and Will through that. So that's how I heard about Stranded. And so I think primarily what I got out of it is strong bonds and a new community. Also, though, I got, a different sense of confidence, I guess, because I think obviously gaining confidence in yourself is not linear, and so I kind of have my highs and lows, and I've always been kind of confident, kind of not, and I feel like a lot of people can relate to that, but this was a new kind of confidence that I'd never felt before, and so that was kind of cool. I think what I've gotten out of what I've seen of Stranded so far is that it's reliant on social game in a different way than anything I've ever done before. The one LRG I've ever done before. In that game, it was very reliant on social strategy and relationships in the game, but it was different because it was a lot of people's first times playing an LRG, and so no one had that prior relationship. People were friends for sure, and it was hard for me because I didn't know anyone going in, and so pre-season I really had to work on my connection. No one had ever played an LRG together before or worked on an LRG together before or anything like that, and so I feel like that's a different kind of connection because you know how people play the game then, and that's what I got the most out of what I've watched of season 1 thus far, is that these people have played, and they've either played together or watched each other's games, and they know how everyone plays, and I feel like I'm gonna get there and be like, all right, it's fine, I'll work with it. So I'd love to say yeah, 100%. I think a little, I've been watching some of season 1, and I plan on finishing what is out of it. So I am planning on doing that, so that's a little bit of prep. I have been trying to go to the gym often, keyword trying. I really was especially after I played my last LRG, I was I'm gonna really get in shape because challenges were embarrassing for me. I was wow, this is clearly not where I excel, which is fine. But I wanted to do a little better, and I think I will. Maybe not as much as I was hoping, considering the fact that I should be going to the gym after this, and chances of that are. I'm thinking of one very specific challenge where we had to run back and forth across the yard, and everyone was like, Meg, what are you doing? Run. And I was like, this is me running. I was like, shut up. I did go back and watch the tape on that one, and I was like, oh yeah, I was not running. I felt like I was running. I needed my inhaler after, but that wasn't a run. And it was hot out, but yeah, so hopefully I'll do a little better with anything that requires fast movement. Such a good question. So I think during casting interviews, I talked a lot about how I want to play a much bolder game. I maintain that I want to make bigger moves than I did last time, and I want to make them not that I didn't make big moves in my last one. I did for sure, but I feel like I didn't own them as much as I was making them because I didn't want people to see me as a threat. And while that worked in a sense, I also came out of the game feeling like, oh, like, do I deserve where I placed? Because even though I made moves and even though I was part of moves, never did I own up to it and be like, yeah, that was my idea, or like, yeah, this is definitely what we should do. I was always very wishy-washy. I was like, yeah, if that's what you think. For sure, right off the bat, I want to play with people I don't know at all, but not necessarily, like, that doesn't mean I don't want to play with people I know, I guess. I know for sure I want to meet new people and play with new people because I don't know their game, and that's an extra challenge for me. Not that I think I'll necessarily need an extra challenge, but I love them anyway. So that's an extra challenge for me, and I just think it'll be fun. But I would totally be open to playing with people I know and making like little alliances with them. I think it does depend who it is. I mean, not there's really like no one I don't like that I think I would see. So like it's not so much an issue of that, it's more an issue of like our gameplay and how that lines up, and like do I think that'll be the best move for me based on how I've seen them play or not play before. Such a good question. Panic first. And then after I panic briefly, I guess I would probably start with that first person that came up to me, because obviously they are not totally comfortable with the plan, if that is the plan, because like with my lines acting a little shady, like it's seeming that way, but I do also feel like once someone puts something into your head, like it can be like, oh, they're acting shady when they're not. So at that point though, I feel like I'd have to like assume that they're lying to me, which like is maybe a bad move on my part, but I think I'd start with the person who first came up to me, and I think I'd be like, okay, say you're right, like not going all in yet, but like say you're right, what is the plan? Like what do you think we should do otherwise? Because if you're not comfortable with that, presumably you've maybe thought of something else. See what they say. If they have a solid plan, I think I would definitely consider it. But if they don't, I'd have to come up with my own. And I think in that case, see, that's hard because there's two options, I feel like. And the one option is go to my alliance and be like, hey, so-and-so just let me know that you're going to vote me out. Can you really trust them? And the other option is vote with the person that trusted me enough to tell me that. And I think I'd go with the second one, because if they trusted me enough to come up to me, I can trust them more later down the line. Although that does say something about like if I do something later that they don't like, are they just gonna flip and be like, so I guess the answer is I don't really know. We'd have to find out. But yeah, I think for sure I would entertain it. There's no world in which I'd be like, no, I don't believe you. I definitely, I mean, you were saying like, and like I've seen this in season 1, like everyone who plays is really like a player, like they're there to play the game. So like that's a basic answer that I'm sure I'm gonna get, but I do want people who are there to play the game for sure. As far as player types go, I think I would love to see some backstabbing bitches. I like hope they don't backstab me. But if they do, honestly, that's fine. I'd rather go out that way than like me just being stupid. Someone who's not willing to work with me because they don't know me and they've never seen me play, and they have their set little group from like LRG's past, and they're like, this is the group, we're going to the final 3, you can't sit with us. That would annoy me. And if it happens, that's fine, but that's probably primarily what I don't want. Like, part of me wants to say like someone like Weasley, because I just like don't like that in real life, but actually in the game I don't think I'd hate that. I think I'd be like, all right, pop off. Like, my initial reaction to hearing that is yay, because I think I'm really good at thriving in chaos. At least I've deluded myself into thinking I'm really good at thriving in chaos, so we'll find out. But My second thought is that there's going to be a lot of twists, and I mean, like, that also just makes sense to me because Will loves a twist. But if the tagline has to do with chaos, I feel like it's going to be even bigger than I've ever seen from him before. So, yeah.
All right, amazing. So with that being said, Meg, we're going to have a little chaos right now. I have a proposition for you. The game actually starts right now, right here.
Okay.
So I want to make a deal with you. And I would love to give you some information on season 2. However, this does come with a price. If you want information and have a little bit of a leg up going into season 2 of Stranded, in exchange for some information, I want your first vote at your first tribal council, meaning you will not be able to vote because you've paid for this information with your vote. You have 1 minute to decide. I want you to start talking out your thoughts to me right now.
I think I already know my answer, but okay, I'll talk.
Sure.
My answer is no. Which is really, really crazy because I actually think information is one of the most powerful things you can have. Like, information is so important. And like, I really don't know anything going into this. Like, I feel like my last LRG, there was a big preseason presence, and so going into it, I kind of had some idea of how things were going to work. I wasn't going in totally blind, even though it was my first one. You'd think now that this is my second one, I'd have a better idea. I don't. So part of me says, yes, take that. Like, don't be dumb. Take that information. And then part of me says, I think I will be okay going in blind. I think I just have to trust myself and like know that when I get there, I'll be able to like adapt, as you would say, without that information, because having my first vote, I think, is really important. And I also think, no, yeah, that's really it. I think having my first vote is really important because, like you said, like, what if I get there and we lose the immunity challenge and like someone on my tribe looks at me and says they're voting you out, and then like my vote is, if it's enough people voting for me, my vote might not matter at all, and then I'm gonna be like, shit, wish I took the info, but my vote could be really important.
So, Meg, I have good news for you. That was just a test. There is. We just wanted to see at Stranded how well you can make split-second decisions.
Okay.
And you can think on your feet because you might be doing a lot of that in season 2. So with that being said, will Meg survive being stranded? Only time will tell. Meg, thank you so much, Meg.